Hey everyone, David Lee here with CoachDavidLee.com, and wanted to put together a quick video on how to handle the objection when somebody says that they need to talk to their husband or wife first about the business opportunity that you just showed them. Okay, so this is one of the most common objections that we all hear. I've heard it more times than I can remember, but so I want to cover just the proper way to handle that, the proper way to respond, and also what people really mean when they say that. So I actually had a lady, tell that to me a couple months ago. Somebody that had found my website and was interested in the business, and she was in. She was all in once we got her questions answered, but she did need to talk to her husband first. So one of the important things to remember when you get that objection, and it's not always an objection, but it can be a roadblock, and it can kind of turn out to be not so good if you don't handle it the right way. But number one is to try to understand what they really mean when they say that. So most people, what they really mean is that they want to get the support of their spouse. Okay, they want to make sure that their spouse understands what they're going to be doing, and maybe they need to talk about the level of commitment that they're going to put into the business. So that can actually be a pretty good thing. If somebody is already thinking like a business owner, and they're already starting to think, hey, I'm going to devote some time and effort into this, they need to talk. They should talk to their husband or wife about it. Not necessarily, maybe they want their husband or wife to work the business with them, or at worst, they just want them to have an understanding of what they want to do. Okay, so it's almost it's not always. And in most cases, it's not them asking for permission or getting their blessing or whatever. It's just making sure that they have an understanding of what they want to do. Okay, so kind of approach it with that, and never object to their objection. Just agree with them. Just say, hey, I completely understand. I completely understand why you would definitely want to talk to your husband or wife. I would definitely recommend that. So go along with them, be understanding, but also suggest, and this is very important, suggest that the husband or wife watch the same thing that your prospect watched. If it's a video, for example, just say, hey, I completely understand, that you would definitely need to talk to your husband. What I would suggest doing is just show your husband the exact same video that you just watched. Y'all watch it together, and then if any new questions come up, if he has any questions, let's get back on the phone so that we can get those questions answered. What time would be good for you, maybe tonight or tomorrow, to get back on the phone? So number one, you're doing a couple things. You're making sure that the spouse is exposed to the business the same way your prospect was, and also you're still staying in control, asking them what a good follow-up time would be for them, so that you can call them. Okay, never leave it up to your prospect to call you back. You're always going to stay in control and call them back or meet up with them again. If you're meeting up at somewhere at their house or at a coffee shop or wherever, that's fine. Just make sure that you set up the next appointment. Always set up the next appointment at a specific time and confirm that time. So, and maybe you have a product-based business and you sample out products. So, maybe the husband needs to sample the product, or if you use a magazine or something like that. Just make sure that the spouse is exposed to the business the same way that the prospect was, so that the prospect isn't trying to explain it to the spouse, because that's going to end up in a disaster. You never want the prospect trying to verbally explain what they just saw. Okay, you just want them to make sure that the spouse is exposed the same way they were, and then just set up a specific follow-up time. So try that. The next time you get that quote objection, try to handle it that way. Just kind of make sure that you understand what it is that they probably really mean when they say that. It's usually not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing, because they want to make sure that their spouse is supportive. So that's actually good. So stop by my blog for a lot more free coaching and tips at coachdavidlee.com/blog. You can find a ton of free coaching and tips on there: prospecting, team building, things to say, phrases to say that work, that are just money for me and my team. So